be like, their inventories are rather low. So if there's something in particular you want or somebody that you love wants, I would say get it sooner rather than later, because the shelves aren't really stocked, you know, as much as they have been in years past. And so retailers are concerned, Rick, that if they have too much on the shelves come end of December or January, they're going to have to slash prices 70%. They don't want that. So they'd rather give us what they call subtle discounts, but to consumers, I think there's going to be a lot of bang for our buck. And people are shopping value, not price this year. They want quality items, but they want to pay, you know, a decent price. So I think we're going to see a lot of savvy, educated consumers going out there and being very smart in the marketplace.
Frankly, the smartest thing would be, in my estimation, wait until December 26th, which is a Sunday this year. So, although I guess that's by the board.
Yeah.
I mean, do you find people doing that, suggesting, why in the world would I pay so much for it prior to Christmas when the day after it's going to be slashed 70%?
Well, that's really true. And, you know, if you were a family, you would say, hey, let's just wait and go shopping after Christmas. But you know what the beauty of that, Rick? Gift cards. You buy people the gift cards, and then the next day they can go out and get everything they want at the discounted prices. So that's overall. And cards we're looking at like $23 billion for the gift cards this holiday season. That's a lot of money. And typically the average gift card is $40. So you've got some nice exchanges of money. And you have to be careful as shoppers. You don't want the gift card to be a gift to the retailers.
Precisely.
You want to make sure that you spend that gift card. Typically they don't expire, but they could decrease in value over time. You could forget them, you could lose them, and maybe you only use $25 of the 40, and then you forget about the 15. So you have to make sure you keep track of those gift cards and don't lose them.
Well, that's starting to hit rather close to home. Audrey, you can stick around for another segment with us?
Thanks,
all right, plenty to talk about with marketing guru, Dr. Audrey Guskey. If you'd like to weigh in with Dr. Guskey, 412-333-PCNC. Rick Bergman with you this morning on Pittsburgh Now.
What do you do if you get a spill like this all over your kitchen floor? This is a...
My colleague Chris Moore, and we're talking about the holiday season, particularly as it pertains to the marketing end of things, with a marketing professor from Duquesne University, one of my favorite people in this business, Dr. Audrey Guskey, looking resplendent in her red over there. The holidays upon us, Audrey, as we noted, and a lot of people opting to go online this year, and certainly that seems to be a trend that's going to continue before it ends. We talked a little bit about the negative impact it might have on some of our malls here, specifically Century 3, Pittsburgh Mills, and yet right up the road here, Ross Park seems to be doing a booming business.
Right.
So maybe the mall concept is not outdated so much as location and some of the other factors. What makes one of these malls succeed where others seem to be on very, very thin ice at this point?
You're exactly right, because it's really which malls are the hot malls and which ones do you really, you know, consumers want to shop at, want to spend some time at these different malls. And basically you have to look at location, which is important. You have to look at the newness. Consumers tend to like the new, glitzy, you know, spangly, fun types of malls as well. But I think the mixture of stores that you have as well, what types of retailers do you have? Now, Ross Park Mall is doing really well because they're in an excellent location, as well as they have some really upscale department stores and specialty stores, which you can't find anywhere else in the Pittsburgh area. And so I think they have that thing where they have the draw. Typically, malls draw from around a 15-mile radius, especially if they have some extra exciting new types of offerings that you can't find anywhere else. I think we're going to see a lot of the outlets doing well too, because consumers are looking to save some money. So you've got the Tanger outlet out in Washington County, and Grove City usually does very well. So I think people will be shopping there. But a lot of the malls that have been here for a long time, who have not an old look to them, but at least don't have that energy and vigor. You've got like the mall at Robinson, which is doing fabulous as well. They've got great stores, and they're always packed, but they tend to draw a younger demographic. So as mall, you know, as you're setting up the mall and trying to determine what stores you want to put in there, it's, you know, it's just a matter of, in the Pittsburgh market, we're so oversaturated with stores. We really have so many retailers, and we've got, in a sense, all the bases covered. And so we as consumers, we're voting with our dollars, where are we going to go? So, you know, we decide where we're going to go, where we're going to shop, where we're going to spend the money. And as a result, you know, those malls that are more trendy and have a lot to offer are the ones that usually are the winners. And I'm concerned because even with the holiday season, people spending, you know, we have a lot of these malls who are hurting and suffering. Century 3 is not doing that well, and Monroeville Mall is okay. So, you know, you just wonder, you know, what's the predictions and how are they going to fare after this holiday season?
Used to be the place to hang out and see and be seen, and no longer the case, perhaps, in some instances. And if that's the case for the malls, Audrey, what about downtown Pittsburgh? I was talking to some folks yesterday and recalling our youth maybe going down for light up night, or maybe just going down to see the horns windows, things of that nature.
Right. Horns, gimbals, and coffins windows.
Precisely, lest we forget. But with parking and some of the other problems with construction downtown, I cannot be optimistic about the possibility of a nice Christmas for the downtown merchants.
Yeah, well, you look at what's happened to the downtown region, and as we had alluded to, I grew up with the Gimbals, Kaufmans, and Horns. I used to work at Gimbals when I was in high school and college, and they've no longer exist. You've got stores that have come in, like the Lord & Taylor's, and Macy's is doing okay, but not terribly well. And so what's the draw? What's going to draw people into the downtown region? Maybe some specialty stores, maybe shopping at Macy's. And so overall, you've got to, what they're hoping to do, the downtown retailers, is maybe do some draw events, like having the, you know, light up night is very strong. Saturday offering free parking. But people, we're creatures of habit, Rick. And so we're used to going to the malls because it's easier, it's convenient. Sure. You park at the mall, you grab the stuff, and it's a couple minutes from your home. People feel more safe and secure there. They feel there's a bigger mix of stores. It's just easier. And so I think downtown needs to make it easier for consumers as well. So whether it's the free parking or just the options of, you know, just offering some new exciting things that you can't find anywhere else. And they've been trying for the past couple of years. But unfortunately, it's tough to get Pittsburghers out of that mode of shopping, you know, in the suburbs. And I think we're going to continue to do that. Other cities have resurfaced and done. Cincinnati's done pretty well. And Baltimore very well in their downtown regions. And I think we're moving in that direction, but we really have quite a long way to go. Maybe by bringing more people who would live into the city, you know, rather than just, you know, commuting and going back home. So I think we just need to add more excitement, more entertainment, more energy to the downtown region. It takes a long time, though. It takes a long time to develop that.
And perhaps that's one of the reasons why they actually expanded Light Up Night to 2 nights this year, as opposed to
because it was so
practice.
Very successful, yes. But, you know, you have to think about Light Up Night. It brings a lot of people into the city.
Sure.
People are eating, they're shopping a bit, but you don't see people leaving with large bags and lots of stuff. It's mainly for families just to watch the entertainment. So I think we need some more other events throughout the holiday season to get us here. You know, you got the windows at Macy's that are always fun to look at, but you need things more than that to get people to open their wallets in the downtown region.
I think you can see Kris Kringle, just like Natalie Wood did back in the 30s, whenever that was. Hey, let's get away from the actual hardware of retailers and things of that nature. What about service from a consumer perspective, Audrey? You know, I know in my lifetime, I think I've seen an eradication of the kind of service you get in a store. And nowadays, you want to find somebody to help you, it's like pulling hen's teeth.
Right.
What has happened to service, and is this an area where maybe the consumer can benefit by somebody being proactive in that regard?
Absolutely. And, you know, this is one of my specialties. I'm studying customer service and trying to determine what satisfies us in the marketplace. And you are exactly right. Because of the economy over the past couple of years, retailers have cut back on the amount of employees they have, but also they've cut back on their training and their emphasis on service. So if a retailer would offer fabulous service, it's going to be a draw for a lot of consumers. They need to differentiate themselves in one way. It might be the quality of the merchandise, it might be the low value pack prices, but it could also be the wonderful service that you receive. And we all know that, you know, it's nice to be treated as everyone's favorite customer. You go into a store, you know, they welcome you, they help you in any way that you need help. And that's what we're really looking for. And so I think it's sort of like a cyclical. We've gone through issues where people haven't been satisfied with the service, and now they're complaining. And I think retailers are recognizing this is one way that we can really set ourselves apart with better service. You've got you know, airlines, JetBlue, you've got Southwest, who differentiate themselves. You've got Nordstrom's, who's known for their fabulous customer service. And so I think overall, you know, that a lot of the retailers are moving in that direction as well.
Although I guess JetBlue had a minor PR problem in the past. Although I'm not sure he was as big a villain as he was cast to be. You know, Audrey, one of the things I've noticed recently, it seems that there is a resurgence of some of the thrift stores, some of the consignment stores. Now, you know, at one point, I'm sure it would have been considered very, very low class, for lack of a better word, to be seen in a place such as this. Is that still the case?
No, it's cool now.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. If people can go to various consignment stores, thrift stores, In a sense, the way it works is people can buy used or gently worn items and things like that, especially for kids or toys or a lot of items like that. I wouldn't necessarily say give them as gifts, but it's a good way to, in a sense, furnish your household. And
thought I had my
won't tell
shopping
anybody.
done.
But you know, and in fact, you do the Tradio on KDK Radio, and that's a good way for people to, in a sense, like recycle all the stuff that they have, and you do a fabulous job, and it's always fun
Thank
to
you,
listen
Audrey.
to you, all of the items that people are, in a sense, peddling, and, you know, online with the eBay and all those options that people have, whether it's new things or used things. We just recently had something called Designer Days in the Pittsburgh region, where the National Jewish Federation of Women put together a fabulous opportunity for people to spend a lot of money, or not a lot of money, and get really great things. And so I think we're seeing a lot of that. So the stigma is gone from buying either used merchandise or really discounted things, because with the economy, people are just trying to make ends meet. And so, you know, like Santa, you got to make your list, you got to check it twice, you got to be very, very cautious as to what you're spending, because come January or February, you definitely don't want to have a very large bill, because, you know, the credit issue is, you just don't want to get involved with that at this point.
Regifting okay, or is that still considered to be?
Well, this is between you and I, but yes, it is. And a lot of people are regifting, which is sort of fun. People even have regifting parties where you bring like really crazy things people have given you, but just make sure that you don't give it back to the person who gave it to you. That's the #1 rule you want to make sure you follow.
Yeah, that would be
that'd be bad.
A PR disaster. Audrey, always a pleasure to see you, my friend. We'll hook up with you again.
Happy shopping to everyone.
Happy shopping to everybody, whether you like it or not. When we return, we'll have an opportunity to speak with somebody who, I'm excited about this. Dr. George Pappas is his guest. So it's all doctors today. Dr. Pappas, a sports psychologist. And if you've got a question as to how to improve your golf game, or perhaps the impact of lessening the intensity of the NFL, for heaven's sakes, give us a call. 412-333-PCNC is the number. Rick Bergman with you until the end of the program here today from a friend and colleague, Chris Moore. And we'll be back after a brief time out on Pittsburgh Now.